horse that I can usually throw it onto, a bigger one. Whoa! Just screw it across the rim. There we go. So make sure it's very, very well mixed. I like to just make it long like this and then fold it over on itself and just keep going until it's one color. And
like
then
kneading bread dough.
Basically, not that I cook or do anything useful like that, but yes, I assume this is what that would be like. Alright, so we just want to make sure that's mixed. We'll do these two, and then we'll go back to the leg guy. He'll be last. So we're going to do ribs and the scalp first. And then we're going to go back to the one with the leg. Because I forgot to put his wire in first. But alright. So just make sure he's cleaned off a bit. I have a brush here. Now, what I'll go over quickly here is sculpting tools. So every artist has a different preferred sculpting tool. I honestly like to sculpt a lot with this knife. And this really old dental tool, it's my absolute favorite. But for the ribs, like you can literally use a pencil to carve a sharpened pencil. You can use a wire. You can use any of these clay shapers if you have any. A toothpick would be fine. Anything like that. So we want to make sure we have a cup of water. Does everyone have a cup of water?
We have our cup of water.
Okay, and not a brush you don't care about using ever again because it's going to get wrecked. Paintbrush. These are just dollar store ones, and I love them because water is really our friend when we're working with this stuff to smooth it out. Alright, so all we're going to do is take a ball and push it right into that hole, and then wet your finger, lots of water, and just really push it into the area. Make sure, if you don't get it all, just get another little piece and tuck it in there. And to save yourself work later, make sure that all the edges are very well blended, because otherwise you're going to hate yourself during prepping, because you're going to have all these little weird edges. So just make sure to really smooth down these areas that are around it. And we can fill in the other hole as well right now. So just do the same on both. Just cover them over so they're flush or a little over full. And really smooth the edges. So it almost looks like he's normal again for a second.
Just for a second.
Yeah, just for a second. Then he's going to get a little grody. That's alright. Okay, so I've done the best I can to press those in and make those smooth. So I'm going to take my dental tool. You can take your pencil. Like here, I'll do it with a pencil. And you're just going to press a little edge around, like a skin edge. Just so you have a little circle. I'm going to switch to this one. So just a little circle, press around about where you made the hole. So just press around and make a little circle. Or as close to a circle. So we just have two little holes. Then make sure, keep on wetting your instrument so it doesn't stick to it. So I'm using this right now. And then the one in his back here, we're just going to press into it. Press down until you can kind of feel where you went with the Dremel, and just kind of make it all scratchy and like would be muscle or whatever. So that one is good. We just made it kind of messy, and there's still a skin circle. And then we're going to do the ribs. So you can look at a reference. I drew a picture here, or you can have a picture of a skeleton, and just do a bunch of little C curves, like just a little. I've had way too much coffee, so this is not as easy as usual. All right. So just do a bunch of little C curves, and then around the edge you can just make little tiny scratches, like some more muscle or whatever. Now what I like to do too with this, because you have the little outside, is just take something, the pencil, here I'll switch to the pencil, and just draw a couple little lines in the side, like squiggles. Make sure you're wetting it. It's easier to work with. So So I've got a few, and then sometimes I like to just do like an extra little hole up here. He's got an extra hole there. And then what we want to do after that is dip our brush. I got some paper towel here. Dip your brush. Oops. Just hitting stuff. And just carefully brush everything over. So you kind of smooth it over and smooth it in.
Alright.
And just brush it.
How long before the epoxy hardens?
So
Usually?
it'll take about an hour, but I still wouldn't work on any other. I'll do it with a circle. A little. So I'm using this. Press down until you get scratchy and like it would be muscle or whatever. You have a picture of a skeleton and just do. All right. Have the little outside is just take something, the pencil. Here, I'll switch to the pencil and just draw a couple little lines in the side, like circles. Make sure you're wetting it. It's easier to work with. So I've got a few, and then sometimes I like to just do like an extra little hole up here. He's got an extra hole there. And then what we want to do after that is dip our brush. I got some paper towel here. Dip your brush. Oops. Just hitting stuff. And just carefully brush everything over so you kind of smooth it over and smooth it in.
Alright.
And just brush it.
How long before the epoxy hardens?
So
Usually?
it'll take about an hour, but I still wouldn't work on any other